Hi and welcome to another video. So in this video what you're going to do is add authentication to our application and just fix any mistakes as we go along the way. So if I can just show you what I mean, if we add anything to the cart right now, we are logged out of the Django admin. We see we are getting this anonymous user object is not iterable. And yes, there's a lot of ways you can fix that. You can store this information either in some sort of index DB or cookies or local storage, but what I'm going to do is to just store the information locally on our local machine. So to start off, I'm going to be using Django Alauth. So go to your browser and just type Django Alauth, and we'll go to the Allauth readthedocs.io to see what you can do. So here we have our documentation, and for the installation part, all you need to do is type in pip install Django Alauth, and I already have Django Alauth installed, and here we have some settings or some configuration settings that we need to put down. So we already have these templates settings inside our settings.app. If I can just show you, so inside our ecom settings we already have that setting there. So this is that setting, the template settings or the templates configurations. What we'll need to do is add the authentication backends. So I'll go all the way to the bottom of the settings and paste the authentication backends there. Get rid of those comments. And inside the installed apps, what we need to do is add these installed apps, and the other ones are already there, but if you're doing social authentication, so you'll need to include this if you want to do social authentication. So if you need me to do another video of social authentication, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. So I'll copy that and make sure I've pasted that correctly. So we have sites, messages we already have, and Allauth, Allauth.account, Allauth.social account. So you can make sure our server is running in the background there. And after that, we'll need to add the site ID. So I'll just add site ID there, get rid of the extra spacing there. And social account providers, if you're doing social authentication now, this is a little extra configuration that we'll have to add. So let me know if you want me to do a video of social authentication. So copy that URL pattern there, and inside our URLs or the root URLs, so we are going to include that path there. So any path that goes to /accounts include allauth.urls. So we have that there, and what we need to do is just type python manage.py migrate. So inside our server, we'll stop the server there and type python manage.py migrate to get those initial migrations done, and it's good to go. So we can go ahead and run the server there. So right out of the blue, if you go to, let's say, make sure the server is still running. So if you go to, let's say, /account/signup or login, so let's go with login. Now we see we get this nice little looking template, and we didn't have to code this from scratch. So this is all Django Alauth. Now to style this up, you'll need to have the Allauth templates. So go ahead and search the same Django Alauth, and we'll need to go to the GitHub repository. So go to the GitHub repository there, and to do this you'll need to go into the Allauth directory there, and inside templates you'll need to copy these templates, or you can just go ahead and clone or download this entire repository to get those templates. So inside our project we'll need to bring those templates inside our templates directory, and I'm going to post the video and I'll show you how it looks like. So now inside the templates, we have the 4 directories. We have account, OpenID, social account, and test. Then we have those. These are our templates. So if you open account and go to, let's say, login.html, now we see we've got the template. So what you're going to do is transform this, and we can go ahead and look at the payment and see what containers to put our content in for our content to look consistent. So we have our container there, or we can just go with home. So let's go with home, and we have our main. Then we have a div of container with nav and section. So if we close section and close the nav there, so it is just this section, the main, and the container. So we can copy that, and inside login, so we are extending account base.html. So this needs to extend our base.html file, and in there we can specify the block content and paste that there. So we don't need the nav bar there, so we can get rid of the nav, clean that up. So everything is tabbed in correctly, and this is what we need to move inside our base or our block content. So copy everything from there, and right above where the end block, so we can copy that or cut it out, and inside the section we can paste it there and make sure it is tabbed in correctly. So tab that in. So we have load social account there, and everything seems familiar. So we have our title or our h1, which is sign in, and this get providers as social account provider. It is if you're using social authentication. So let me know if you need me to do a video on that social authentication. Now, since we have Crispy Forms installed, we can load Crispy Forms and make use of Crispy Forms. So Crispy Forms tags, we've loaded Crispy Forms tags there. So inside the form where we have .as_p, we can use the pipe operator and specify Crispy. So we have our Crispy there, and we can go ahead and take a look at this. So if we refresh, now Crispy Forms tags is not a registered library. That's fine. If we go to the settings, we have Crispy Forms installed, or we have Crispy Forms there, and at the bottom we've specified the Crispy template pack. So if we go to login, Crispy Forms, yeah, not Crispy Form. So Crispy Forms tags, refresh that, and block tag with name content appears more than once. So this is this block here. Can get rid of that block. Refresh everything. And line 13. Can get rid of that and make sure that these load statements are at the top. Yeah. So we have that at the top there, and if we refresh, now we have the styling is messed up there. And get rid of text center, and the main, we can add a class and specify margin top as 5 and also padding top as 4, and get rid of just some spacing there. Come back and refresh. Now looks great. So for the section, we can specify column 6 and let's say column medium 6 as well, and specify offset 3. And if we refresh, now that looks great. We can just finish off by styling the button there. So for the button, we can replace the class with button, let's say info, and we can specify it is rounded like that, and switch those actions there. And specify the class of that as button, and we can get rid of the class there. And if we come back and refresh, now that should be button info. Fresh. Now that looks great. So we can go ahead and sign in. So if we click sign in, now we see we are already signed in. So as a practice, you can go ahead and style the sign up page. So if we go to, let's say, accounts sign up, since we are being redirected, and that is a cool feature of Django Alauth. So if we go to account sign up and we already signed in, so we are redirected back to the home page. So to fix that, we'll need to log out again. So inside the base.html, inside the navbar, it is where we can display that information. And so inside the navbar, if we are authenticated, then we'll display the card. So in here, we can add an if statement and say if our request dot user dot is underscore authenticated. So if you're authenticated, then we can go ahead and show that, or we can put it right there, get rid of that and put it there, and we are going to have to tab that in and tab that out like that. So if you're authenticated, we'll show that, else if you're not authenticated, we'll show a list item that just asks the user to go and log out. So I'll copy that and specify it there and tab that in. So if we're not authenticated, it will be login and sign up. So we'll have two of those. Sign up like that, and the URL for that, it is account sign up, and the URL for that is account login like that, and that needs to be account. And these URLs are the URLs that are specified in Django Alauth. So if I can just go ahead and type into, let's say, 127, go to accounts, let's say we do a URL that does not exist, so register like that, then we see we get the names of those accounts. So we have account sign up, login, account logout, and all the rest. So now if we're logged in, we'll have another extra list item there. You can paste it there, and it is logout, and it is account log out like that. So if we refresh this, now we see we are authenticated, and that needs to be log out. And if we hit logout, and it should log us out. So if we click logout, and you can go ahead and style this logout page as well. So if we log out, then as you can see, we don't see the cat. We can go ahead and log in. And as a configuration, if we can just go back to our URLs, now you're seeing these smooth transitions because I've configured my Django Alauth in a certain way. So to start off with, if we can go back to our root URLs and we want to take a look at that Allauth package in details. So we can say from, let's say, uh, from allauth.account.urls, we can import something there, or we can just type this so that we can get access to go there. So if you click control and click to that account, as you can see, if we click that, then we are redirected to that page inside the site packages. As you can see, it is inside the C drive, Python, then site packages, Allauth, then we are in the account directory. So if you go to, let's say, views.login, so from .views, or we can go back to the URLs and we can go to the views. So if we go to the views, now these are our views. We have the redirect views there, and here is our login view. And what you need to do is to specify the success URL as /. That's what you saw. If we logged in, we are redirected to the / page, and for the sign up view, it is all the same, redirect to /. So go ahead and add in those configurations and save everything, and you can go ahead and go through this file as well, and it is quite large, so go ahead and go through that. So those are our views. We can close that and close our URLs. And if we sign in a new user, now if we can just go ahead and try that. So if we go ahead to the sign up page, and our server is not running, so close that. Make sure that our URLs, the import there, gotten rid of. So if we refresh, now if we sign in, let's say we sign in with a new user, Sydney1, same email address, we can add a password and add the same password. And as you can see, the email is labeled as optional, so to register we don't need an email. So if we can go ahead and sign in, a user is already registered with this email address, so we can change the email address to, let's say, that. And as you can see, there's a little bit of validation at there, so that's the good thing with Django Alauth, and we didn't have to write all those validation steps from scratch. So we get this connection error, refused, and it is because once we sign up a new user, it is Django Alauth is trying to verify that email address that we provided. So to fix that, we'll need to go to the configuration inside the documentation, and we can specify the account authentication method as just username. And so inside our root URLs, we can close and go to our settings and specify the account authentication method as just the username. Let's go back, and email confirmation expire days, we can leave some of these defaults to the default values, and here we don't require an email. So since we're not doing authentication or social authentication for now, so email required, we can set that to false. And account email verification, you can set this to mandatory, optional, or none. So what Django Alauth was doing, it was trying to verify the email that we provided. So we can copy that, and in a later video I'll try to do a more detailed look at how we can verify our emails. So in this video, we're just going to do the basics. So email of verification, it is none. So I can go ahead and save everything, run the server again, and we'll try to sign up another user. Now, if we go and log into the admin again, that user that we created, we'll see that he or she was created already. So if we go to the users, the user was created, but the email verification was not done. So you can go ahead and delete that user. And if we come back and refresh, so account sign up, can cancel and refresh that page. Go to slash accounts sign up, and you see we are redirected back to the home page, so we can log out, sign out, and go to the admin, log out again, or you don't need to log out of the admin. So if we go to sign up, now we can sign up with another user and specify the password there and specify the same password there. And if we sign up, now we see we successfully signed in as that user and we are redirected to the home page. So it didn't verify the email address. So as a last touch, we can display the name of the user which is logged in. So we can copy that, and if we authenticated, then we might want to display the name of the user. So this should be, let's say, hello, and this is our user.username, and we can pass in request.user.username just to be safe, and we can leave that as just a pound sign, and this will be a redirect to the profile page where they can view a little order summary or a detailed summary of their previous orders. So, and we can get rid of that and tap that in. So if we come back and refresh, now we see hello user.username. So that should do it. So we can try and complete the process. So we can go ahead and add an item to the cart. And if I can just go ahead and log into the admin, and if we go to the orders, now if I delete those orders, and as you can see, the order, the username of or the user associated with that order is the user that we currently logged in with. So we can go ahead and delete all that, and if we go to the order items and also delete all those order items. Now if we go to the order summary view and refresh, now we see we are directed back to the home page. We don't have an active order, so everything seems fine. Now we have a new order. We can proceed to checkout and fill in an address, select a country, zip code, select type as the method, or now we see we are getting this fetch. Now the error is coming off of the try method. What we can do right now is get rid of the try catch for now, and we'll bring back it later. So if you can paste that there and tap that in, and we need to convert that into a get method. So we are getting the order where the user is the request user, and we are getting the orders that have not been ordered. So if we come back and refresh, now that should do it. So you can go back and try that again. So if we increase the quantity of that item, proceed to checkout, select an address and select any country, select Stripe as the method there, or PayPal. Now we see it is working correctly. Now as a last touch, you can work on displaying the order summary there. So inside the payment, we have our order being passed in there. So inside payment.html, can go ahead and close off account. So inside our payment, we're already passing in the order, so you can go ahead and say that number. It will be all the items in our order, so order.items.count, and the product name, the second product, that we can get rid of and just have one of them. So inside the UL and li tags, so you can get rid of the first one. For item, in order.items.all, since it's a many-to-many field, so we can cut that and put that around that list item. You can close off that, and the second product, it will be the title of that item. So we have item dot, that is the order item, so we can replace that with order item. So for order item in order.items.all, then it is clear to say this will be order item.title. To go further, and we can copy that and replace that there, and that will be our description there. Then we can do the price, and that will be our order item dot item, and we can double check our models. So on the order item, it is where we defined the final price, so we can copy that, and inside the payment, it will be order item dot get final price. And we can do, like, let's say our order item dot quantity, then we can do times order item dot title, so it will be 1 times that item title. So we have our third item, and we can get rid of that as well. So promo code and example code, that will do in another video. So in here we just output the total of that order, so order dot get total, and that's a method that we defined on the order model itself. So if we come back and refresh, now we see 3 times the name chart, then we have our total there. So if we hit PayPal, then we should see our total of $690. Now you see the amount is reflected there. Then give it time to load. So processing. Now it's logged me out. We have the amount there. Then there is no funding source added to your PayPal account. Please add an account and add a card to continue. Now I'm getting this error because the amount that I specified inside my sandbox account seems to be finished, but you get the idea. So the payment should go through as smoothly as it should be. As a last touch to this video, if we go ahead and log out and sign up there, and if we try to add an item to the cart, now we'll get the same error, anonymous user. Object is not iterable. And since we already added authentication to our app, now Django doesn't know about the Allauth or the authentication that you already added. We've just added to our app. So we need to let Django know. And we'll do that with a decorator on our views, and we'll press a decorator for each view that we require authentication for. So for example, the add to cart view, you saw that it requires authentication, and also the order summary view. So to do that, inside our views, we'll need to import the decorators from Django contrib. So up top we say from Django.contrib.auth.decorators, then we can import, or let's say import the login required decorator. And since we are using class-based views, also we need to import another decorator, and it comes from the same path. So from our Django contrib path, so from Django.contrib.auth.mixins, then we can import the login required mixin. And this will use for our class-based views that require authentication. So for example, the order summary view will need to be authenticated to fetch that user that is associated with that specific order. Then for the login required view, then for add to cart view, and the payment complete view, since we already will be authenticated, we don't need to add it there, so we need to add it there, the add to cart. Then we have the remove from cart view, and also remove single item from cart. So copy that, paste it there, save everything, make sure everything is correct. So if we come back and refresh now, if we go ahead and let's go back home and try to add an item to the cart, and as a last thing we need to specify the login URL, or we can just leave it as that. So if we hit add to cart, as you can see, since you are not signed in, we are redirected back to the sign in page. So we can go ahead and sign in, and we'll be redirected to the order summary view, and we have that item added to the cart. I think that should do it for this video. We have everything set up correctly. Now in the next video, we'll see how to handle, let's say, refunds and do the promo code as a last touch for this video series, and we'll see how we can deploy this project live. As a last thing to mention, I'll be releasing also a React Django e-commerce project, so you can also stay along for that, and it will be an extension of this project where we'll convert this project into a React based Django project. So thank you for watching this video. So if you like these videos, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. So I'll see you in the next video.